Welcome to another video. So in this video I want to explain a little bit about the difference between our intuition and our mind when working with the Akashic Records. I often get asked this question because I think people doubt their intuition. So in this video I want to take you through the differences so that you find it easier to distinguish between your intuition and the stories that you have created in your mind. First, I want to give you a metaphor that Linda Howe, I think, also used. So, our mind just sees somebody as if there's a spotlight on that somebody on the stage. Which is beautiful, right? We take that experience and the experiences that we've had in the past, and based on this, we create an answer or clarity for the future. But there's more than that. So what she says the Akashic Records do is to give a clear view of the entire stage. So not only the person in the spotlight, but also the person behind the scenes. The background, the music. It's a complete picture, even of the things that you were not able to see yet. So this way you can also distinguish between the mind and the intuition when it comes to the Akashic Records. Let's look at 3 clear differences between the mind and the intuition, so that you can make sure that you're only using your intuition when it comes to reading the records. So the mind has a certain load. The mind has an emotion attached to it. That means that when you're reading something and you're feeling a clear emotion with it, you're feeling a push or a pull, that it's not based from intuition. Intuition is very neutral. Your guides are basically there and they're giving you the information. And they're hoping that you take it, but they're also okay with you not taking it. And when you're not taking it, they're giving it again. And again. And again. Whereas the mind can put pressure on stuff. The mind has a clear time frame in mind. Literally in mind. So a good way to distinguish the two is to see whether there's emotion attached to what you're saying, to what you're reading for somebody else or for yourself. When there's an emotion attached, it's usually the mind. So try to look beyond it and see what comes through, which is very neutral. Which comes from that empty space, from that 0 point, from that all-encompassing field, where nothing is better than something else. Another way, or a way that I learned to distinguish my mind and my intuition when it came to reading the records, is that often things come through that are too crazy for the mind to have made up. So when I started reading the records for people, I started hearing sentences and things that I was like, wow, really? I cannot have made that up. I've never really heard about that. And then later I would Google it or I would tell it to the person and they'll be like, whoa, that's exactly what I'm feeling. So the intuition often goes beyond what we can think in the mind. It's beyond the magic of the mind. So when it sounds more surreal, more crazy, usually it's actually very trustworthy. Because your mind cannot have made it up. Your mind doesn't know that story yet. So that's difference number 2. Let's feel into different street for a moment. There's many differences that I can share, but I want to share 3 with you that I think are most important for you at this very moment. Yeah. It's funny, I got the word flowers, so I started searching. I was like, flowers, what do I do with flowers? And then they gave me the image of the chakras, which are often shown as flowers. And when you're working with your intuition, you can also feel the effect inside of your body. So you can also feel the effect inside of your chakras, as if flowers are blooming. When it's with the mind, it's much more here, and it's not so much in the physical body. Whereas when it's something of the all-encompassing field, your body has to go along as well. So when you're sensing something and getting an insight at the same time, you're pretty much guaranteed that it comes from your intuition. Whereas if you're just having a mind chatter, or something that you hear but you're not feeling anything happen in the physical body, then you know it's the mind speaking. So those are the clear 3 differences between your intuition and your mind when working with the Akashic Records. The first one was that your intuition is neutral, whereas your mind is usually loaded with emotion. The second one is that the intuition gives more crazy, more new insights than the mind could ever have made up. And the third one is that the intuition also always speaks through the body at the same time, whereas the mind is just here. So I hope this gives you some insight. I hope it gives you a reason to trust even deeper in your intuition coming through, and to allow the filter of the mind to get weaker and weaker. Because the mind is a beautiful, beautiful source. But when using the Akashic Records, we want to drop a layer deeper. Because the mind would have already given you the answer. And working with the Akashic Records is actually to get an answer that's something new than you've thought of already. And clearly that what you thought of already wasn't working for you. Because otherwise you wouldn't open the records and ask the question in the first place. So the Akashic Records really wants to offer you a new perspective. A perspective that's based on intuition and based on the all-encompassing field of all the information that's available, rather than the constraints of the mind. Let me know if there's any more questions popping up for you. For now, I'm sending you so much love, so much healing, so much experimentation, and definitely make sure to check out our other videos about the Akashic Records as well.